All right, this is going to be a quick video today on what is love, right? I'm a psychologist in my day job, and so I study this all the time. I always want to know what the highest and best is, how to know the highest example of this so that our lives can be free. Now, if you think, like, who's going to know best what love is besides divine love, God, the creator of us all, in scriptures and stuff. And I welcome all religions. Everyone's always welcome here, right? So don't be put off that I bring this stuff up, right? It's because, like, if we're all created by God, and in the Bible and stuff it says God is love, then God's going to know a lot about love. And don't worry, I'm not going to be just like preaching at you in some small way or something like that. All I want to do is study and understand the nature of love, right? So I was meditating this morning. First, look at the sun, just be present. Take a second to get here, to be present. It's worth it. It's worth it for you to take a moment in your busy life to just let go of everything so we can contemplate this for this. I think I have about 8 more minutes. Okay, so in 1 John, and John was just such an amazing. I was at Ephesus where John used to live after the resurrection. Anyway, you don't have to know all of that stuff. I've just been on lots of pilgrimages. I didn't know I was. Okay, so anyway, John wrote, perfect love casts out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. Now understand this, I'm teaching you now as a psychologist. I've been one for over 20 years now, and I was in 9 years of school before that. I don't want to go into that every time I make a video, right? You can watch my other videos to know who I am if you want. My name is Dr. Cheryl Meyer. Anyway, he said that perfect love casts out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. Now, when you're in egotism and when you're stuck in your mind and you're not in this being state, right? The mind is always about survival. I was reading this book about how to advertise and stuff like this, and it was talking about all people want is how to survive and how to thrive. And I'm like, that's not all they want, That's all our mind thinks it wants. And so that's all it keeps striving for until you know yourself on a deeper level, or the sadness in your life has driven you to a place, or breaking other people's hearts, or breaking your own heart has driven yourself to a place to understand there must be more, there must be more, or getting lost in your addictions and seeing how empty they leave you, it leads you to this place. I was friends with this musician, Elliott Smith, and one of his lyrics came to mind this morning, my mind, and I'll paraphrase it because there might be kids around, but he just says, like, I always feel like crap, another word, I don't know why, I guess that I just do, And I was like, I know why, it's been so many years since his death, over 17. I know, because I had a miscarriage on the day of his death, a year later. Anyway, that's personal, but all of this is personal, but it's for you to know what love is, right? Now, if someone always feels like crap, they don't know why, I guess that I just do, then Elliot was not in awareness or experience. He knew, he read lots of esoteric books, all sorts of books, and he had a high consciousness. I loved him deeply. But I'm just saying, we can use that as an example, is like, why is it that, you can have this head knowledge about love, but you don't know it inwardly, right? I was always wishing, that Elliot was still alive and he was still studying this and he learned it and he knew love deeply, you know. He had another song where he's just like, this is after we met. I'm not saying that one is about me at all, but he's like, you once spoke to me about love. We talked about it a lot. You painted pictures of a never, never land. And I could have gone to that place, but I didn't understand. I didn't understand. I didn't understand. It's so pretty. It's really pretty. The music goes with this feeling, right? And so your ego mind will always look for, how can I survive? How can I thrive in its idea, which is like make more money, you know? And the example came up to me for that yesterday. My son was asked to go babysit for someone. He was going to make $80, you know? And I'm like, I don't get to see you that often, and I don't need to go into why right now, but I only get to see him like 15 days, you know, out of the month. And I'm just like, he's like, well, are you going to give me $80? I'm like, I'm not giving you $80, you know? He had to make that choice, you know? And he was asking me because I'm his mom, you know? And I'm like, I'd rather you not. Can you do it this other day when I have a class and all this stuff, right? And he's just like, well, I want to be productive. And I'm like, it's productive for you to spend time with your mom that loves you. You know, that's productive. But in his mind, the mind of the world, right? Making money is productive, right? In our minds, we could be like, why are we sitting, watching the psychologist, you know, sitting with her, joining her in this space of a video in this time? I'm always like, you can 2 times my videos and watch them faster if you want, but why are we doing this? How is this productive? Is this going to help me thrive? Is this going to help me survive? And I just like refused to sell out and be like, hey, today we're going to do these 3 steps, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know if that is selling out, but I want you to know about love, right? Perfect love casts out fear, because fear has to do with punishment, right? When you're in egotism, it's 1 John 4:18 if you want to 4:18 if you want to know where this is coming from, right? I know because I meditated on it, you know, this morning, and I meditated on it before too. But egotism is always about, what can I get out of this? How am I going to thrive out of this? What can I use from that person? What can I take from that person? And just understand, you know, we don't have to hate the egotism. We can just know that that's its way, that's its method. And so if you're ruled by egotism, then it's like a bunch of other videos I teach about. It says, to the extent that I'm hooked into my own desires and my own passions, to the extent that they run my life, is the extent I will step on someone else to get those needs, not needs, but, you know, those desires, those passions met. And so when you start seeing, hey, I'm always feeling like crap, I don't know why, I guess that I just do. It's like, no, it's because, you know, for me, I was thinking about Elliot, you know, I was in such a pattern of wanting him to be healed and praying for him for years before he passed on, you know, before he died. Possibly murdered. It's an open case still. It was horrible, but I won't go into all of that, okay? Is that I was like, Elliot, you know, now I know, right? From Dr. Joe Dispenza, it's like, if you keep thinking the same thoughts, you have the same memories, and you keep going back to those, your body doesn't know that you're in a new place. It keeps re-experiencing. I know he had trauma in early childhood, you know, and so it keeps re-experiencing that as if it's now. It keeps experiencing that you're not worth protecting, you're not worth cherishing, you're not worth listening to. All of those get repeated over and over and over again from his childhood, from my childhood, from your, whatever is going on in your life. And so fear has to do with punishment. Well, egotism, why do you think people beat their child, you know? It's like they're locked in egotism, and they're just trying to feel better in the moment, and they're afraid something bad is going to happen because you did this bad thing and you take on all the bad, and so I'm going to beat that out of you because I can't see the bad in me, because I don't know a higher love than that. I don't know I'm a soul here in a body, and I could be deeply, deeply loved and know that love and live in that love, right? They don't know that. And so You know, that's why Jesus, when he's on the cross, says, forgive them. They know not what they're doing. They still have to be forgiven. It's wrong. And they will be accountable. Everyone's going to be accountable for their actions, right? But it's just like, fear has to do with punishment. How much are you going to really genuinely love someone if you're just loving them because you feel like you're going to get in trouble, or someone's going to call you bad, or, you know, you're going to get punished if you don't, quote, love that person? Jesus said it this way, right? He says, and he's always teaching about higher consciousness. He lived it. He lived in the highest consciousness. Forgive me, I was crying right before this about something else, but I still wanted to take the time to make this video no matter what and show up for you guys, right? And so Jesus says, I am not a hired shepherd. A hired shepherd, when the wolf comes, takes off, you know? That shepherd leaves. I'm not a hireling. I love the sheep that I take care of. I love you like my brothers and my sisters and people I care about, you know, like a daughter or a son, you know, like I love mine, you know, and way more than that, but, you know, he's really good at that love thing, right? And so this is just a short excursion into understanding what love is. When you're acting in egotism and you're stuck in that method and you don't know yourself as soul, then you're going to keep experiencing this part of yourself that wants to punish you, that says, oh, you did wrong. You're not good enough. I have to be going. I have someone coming to my house to fix some pipe or something. So I don't want to, that's disrespectful to be late for them too, you know? And so, anyway, let me buckle up and then get hands free. Maybe I'll keep talking a little bit. All right, so, no, I'll wrap this up. I said I would, so I will. We'll talk about more love later. I wish you so much love. Thanks so much for taking the time to start this course. We'll have to make a part 2, all right? I wish you so much love.